come now to our time of Bible study, in which we review the scriptures that will help us to celebrate what we celebrate today, which is the journey we are all on back to God. And this day is a day of remembering what that means to us as far as that journey and what we can look forward to as far as help from God along that journey. So, the first one we read is, of course, from the Old Testament. It's from the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verses 1 through 3. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. See, darkness covers the whole world, and a thick darkness has come over the people. But the Lord will rise upon you, and His glory will be seen upon you. Nations will come to your light, and kings to the brightness of your dawn. You know, we must remember the context in which Isaiah was written. It was a dark, dark time for Israel. In this 60th chapter, they were in the pre-Civil War period. Yeah, they had a big civil war in Israel between the north and the south in the latter part of the 700 BC time period. But before they had that civil war, their nation was really messed up. There was a lot of darkness, a lot of division, especially between the northerners and the southerners. And in addition to that, there was a lot of despair and a lot of hopelessness. And people really thought that the only right way to live was to be pessimistic about life, to be skeptical. It was a dark time. So, in that time, and in that context, the prophet wrote these words to remind the people in that day that a day was coming when the Lord would arise upon them in their life, and His glory would be shown through them. Really positive words, really powerful words, really great words of hope. But behind them was the prophet's understanding that even though it was a dark time and a difficult time and things were really, really bad, the destiny of the Hebrew people was not despair. The destiny was hope. Hope for a better life in which God would rise in their life like the sun rises every day. And that God's glory would be shown through them like the light going through a beautiful piece of diamond or other jewelry. And that was the hope that the prophet Isaiah was trying to get across to them. He knew it was dark. He knew it was bad. Matter of fact, they say that the author of this book actually walked all the way up onto the top of Mount Zion and looked over into the valley beyond, and he could see the Assyrian armies already assembling, already getting ready to attack Israel and destroy it. Of course he knew the day was bad, and of course he knew horrible things were about to happen. But yet he says, you know, on your journey of faith, the thing you must remember is your destiny is hope, not despair. Good point to keep in mind today. Then we go to the letter of Paul to the Ephesians. And here we find a portion from the 5th chapter, verses 6 through 8. Let me read it first and I'll comment. Paul says to these Ephesian Christians, he says, let no one deceive you with empty words. Because of that, God's wrath is coming upon you and causing you to be disobedient. Therefore, do not be partners with these empty word people. You once were darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. So live as children of the light. Paul was appealing to these Ephesian Christians to take seriously their new heritage. They had found out through the Christian faith who they really were. They were children of the light. Before that, they thought they were just children of their parents. But the Christian faith taught them, no, 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 no. You came from someplace else. Yeah, your parents did bring you into this world, but you came from somewhere else. You came from God, and you're a child of the light, and so therefore you should be living as a child of the light. But you see, what had happened there in that church in Ephesians is that people had become convinced that it was okay to be human and okay to be Christian, and you could just be whatever you wanted to be. It was just fine. And so when they would engage in these selfish things that they did that hurt other people, that hurt themselves, that hurt the world in which they were in, they just kind of winked at each other and said, yeah, you know, we're Christian. Yeah, and Paul says that's not the way we do that here. No, no, no. You are a child of light. You need to live like a child of light. So on your journey home to God, you're not trying to live a mixed life of saying, oh, I live like a human, I live like a Christian, I just live like whoever I want to be like. No, 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 no. Paul says no. You're a child of the light. That's who you are. Your Father's God, and you need to live like you are a child of the light. This is what you need to do on your way home to God. So another good point for us to keep in mind. Then finally, we come to the gospel lesson, and we stand as we read this, since it is from the gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verses 14 through 16. And Jesus said, you are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people put it under a bushel and hide it. Instead, they put it on a stand where its light can be seen by everyone in the house. In the same way, I say to you, let your light so shine before men that when they see your good works, they will glorify your Father who is in heaven. Amen. You may be seated. You see, the gospel reading gives us another great idea that we also have a new purpose in life, you see. Each of these readings kind of tells us about the newness of Christianity. We're seeing a new hope in Isaiah, and we're seeing a new understanding of our heritage in Ephesians. And in the gospel, we're seeing that we have a new purpose. We're not living just so that people will think greatly of us. We're not living just so that we're having a good time in this world. We're living so that when people see the good works we do, they will glorify God as well. So our purpose is to encourage everyone else to live the light life, the life of light, and to live the light of love in this world. That's our new purpose. And so on our journey back to God, then, we must keep in mind that this is what we are about doing. So now we go back to these, and we will read the English and the Spanish together. First of all, we have out of the book of Isaiah, the Lord will arise upon you, and His glory will be seen upon you. El Señor se levantará sobre ti, y su gloria se verá sobre ti. And then from Ephesians we find the English, for you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Live as children of the light. Porque en otro tiempo eres tinieblas, pero ahora sois luz del Señor, y como hijos de la luz. And then finally, from the gospel, the English, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Brille vuestra luz ante los demás, para que